Hey YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, I'm Sai, and on this channel, I talk about investing for beginners and a bit of tech along with general business information. Now in today's video, I'm continuing my £100 monthly investments, but I'm actually going to change things up a little bit because the trading platform that I use, Trading 212, has introduced a new feature called pies. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about pies in Trading 212 and how you can make the most out of them. So while you watch the short intro video, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not see if you can make that like button change colour. So the last few months on this series, I've been investing £100 into a Trading 212 ISA account. And if you don't already have an account and you want to set one up, head over to www.saiganesh.co.uk/trading212 in order to create your account. And Trading 212 will give you a free stock worth up to £100 as soon as you deposit £1 into your Invest or ISA account. So in the past videos of this series, I've been splitting my £100 in a methodical way, where I would put a third of my money into ETFs like the FTSE 100 and the S&P 500, and then a third into dividend stocks, and then finally a third into companies that I have researched into a little bit more and I generally find interesting. So let's take a look at how the portfolio is actually doing right now. So first of all, let's have a look at the actual portfolio. So we can see we've got invested £498.77 at the moment. Now this is giving us a return of £37.73, which is a 7.56% return since I started this portfolio. Now if we actually look at the individual shares, we can see that AbbVie is in the green, Amazon has gone down a little bit, only 1.05%, which isn't too bad. Apple is still up at 7.35%, AT&T has lost 6.27%, BP is still a really bad hitter at a loss of 13.02%. We've got Chevron, which is 11.05%. And then we've got our iShares FTSE 100, which has gone up 10.23%. We have our iShares Core S&P 500, which is up 3.46%. Then we've got Pfizer, which has actually dropped a little bit, 5.58%. And then Tesla, which is doing great as always at 66.69%. Now, like I mentioned, this month I actually want to do something a little bit different because Trading 212 recently announced that they are making their platform social, which is probably just a way to ride the social media bandwagon. But ultimately, this all comes down to a new feature that was released towards the end of 2020, where Trading 212 brought out something called pies. The whole idea of pies was to help solve two major investing pain points. Number one, having a diversified portfolio and easily maintain diversification balance in the long term as markets move up and down. Number two, make contributions to your portfolio without having to make complex calculations in order to allocate the right amount of money to each company or ETF that you own. And quite frankly, Trading 212 have hit the nail on the head on both of these aspects. So what is a pie? Well, in this instance, it's not something you eat or an American movie. It's just simply a collection of securities, such as stocks and ETFs, which essentially pretty much gives you the chance to create your own ETF or index. Now each security is represented as a slice of the pie. Now Trading 212 have set a limit of 100 securities that can be held within a pie, but you can have multiple pies. So with Trading 212, they've actually taken this to another level and introduced Auto Invest, where you can customize a deposit schedule to automatically fund your pies as well. So in essence, you can set it all up and then just forget about it. But recently, Trading 212 have announced that as of today, the 4th of January 2021, Trading 212 will start charging 0.7% for any deposits that are made by debit or credit card. And this is not a money-making business plan. This is purely to transfer the transactional fees issued by the card companies over to us, the consumer, rather than Trading 212 taking that hit themselves. Now these fees, they're very low as it is, and still makes investing on Trading 212 cheaper than most other platforms. But you can avoid these costs by depositing funds by an instant bank transfer, which can be done really easily in the app. like this. So if we go in to the top up here and we go to choose deposit funds, we then have the options of either depositing via card, or we can choose instant bank transfer. So if I tap on instant bank transfer, I select how much money I want to add into my account, and then if I hit next, this then says that I want to connect my bank account to my Trading 212 app. So if I click on this then takes me to TrueLayer.com. So this is basically a third-party system that sits in between your banks and Trading 212 in order to connect them both together so that you can transfer funds across the bank to Trading 212. So if I hit allow, and I normally use Metro Bank, but that bank is actually not one of the ones that's listed on here. But I do use Monzo, so I'm going to use Monzo. So if I tap on Monzo, this then automatically connects to the app within the account, and then I can then hit continue, and it will create the connection between Monzo and Trading 212. And as you can see, it goes back through the TrueLayer authentication, and then it takes me back into Trading 212, which then says you'll be redirected to Monzo in order to execute any payments. So now that we've added the bank into the account, I can then click on instant bank transfer, select my £100, and then hit next. This will then redirect me to Monzo, where it will automatically fill in all the details for me to actually transfer the £100 back into Trading 212. Now we can see we've got free funds of £110.53. Now let me show you how to actually access pies within the app as well. So if we come back into our portfolio, we can see under the main graph that you have the options for investment and pies. Now if we tap on pies, we can then see that there's two options for creating a pie. So we can either create a pie or open pie library. And this is where the whole notion of Trading 212 has made investing social. Because when you tap on Open Pie Library, you can now see the pies that have been shared by all the users on the platform. So if I click on that, so we can see here the pies that have been shared by lots of other YouTubers and some others that have also tried to recreate some of the best portfolios in the industry, such as Warren Buffett's portfolio or ARK Investments portfolios. And one of the greatest things about this feature is that you can copy any one of these shared pies to use for yourself. So you can see that there are pies here from YouTubers who have some great content, like the Dividend Experiment, and then Paul Briscoe, who has replicated his portfolio. Then we've got people like Treba, who have replicated lots of the ARK investment portfolios. But as you know, I like to invest in 3 ways, and I'm going to choose one of these pies for my dividend investments. And then I'll create my own pie for ETFs and another one for the companies that I'm interested in. So I've actually been following the Dividend Experiment for a while now, and he has some great content on dividend stock. And if we go into his daily dividends pie, well, almost daily dividends pie, we can see details about what companies he has decided to add to this pie, as well as a link to a video on his YouTube channel where he explains in more detail why he has put all of these various different companies within this pie. Now I've linked that video in the description down below, so you can have a look at it yourself. But actually, right down at the bottom of this description, we can actually see that he's also mentioned that he has weighted the company slightly differently in another pie. And if we go into that link, actually opens up on a website, but then we have the option to view this pie in Trading 212 to view this pie as well. So here, when we open up the description, we can see that he's weighted some of the companies in order to achieve a more consistent dividend. Now, as much as I like to try and look for a 4% or more dividend yield, after watching his video explaining why he chose these companies, I've decided I want to invest into this pie to start seeing more regular dividend payouts rather than the higher payouts, as I feel the frequency of payouts will help motivate me to invest more, because there is nothing greater than getting a notification on your phone saying you just got some free money. So let me go ahead and copy this pie. Now this is copied, so I can then make any changes I want to all of the various different companies that are within this pie. Now as it stands, I'm quite happy in the way in which he has diversified this portfolio and weighted various companies accordingly. So I'm just going to hit next. Then I've got the option here for that auto invest that I mentioned earlier, where we can set an investment schedule and automate your deposits. However, that only works with card payments at the moment. Now I'm hoping that Trading 212 will make a change in the future to allow yourself to auto invest using a bank transfer, but you can also do this in a manual way as well, which is what I'll be doing in this instance. So if I hit next, I can then choose to name this pie. So this is going to be my dividend pie. And then if I hit create, this then has now added this pie into my portfolio. So if I come out of here and if we go back into my portfolio, we can see under pies, we've got dividend. Now when I open this, we can actually see an overview of the pie. So how much money has been invested, how much money you've made out of it, what that investment goal could be. So you can set a goal here as well. Maybe it's to make £100,000. Could be anything. You could also make that much lower as well. Whatever you want to do, you can set that investment goal and then it'll give you an idea of how much you need to invest into this pie in order to get that return. But then at the same time, what we can do, we can also see all of the different holdings. And so this is where you can also edit any of the companies that you're holding or change any of the weightings. Then we have the options to include the auto invest functionality. And then we also have the option to share the pie as well. Now, if I go back into overview and I want to invest into this with £100 that I've already added into the account. Now, as I just deposited the £100, I don't have in my account yet. So I need to wait a couple of days in order for this to actually go through. And then I'll be able to have that £100 invested into this dividend pie. Now, what I've done today is I've actually put the full £100 into this dividend pie. Now, the reason for this is because it's diversified over multiple companies. I want to put a significant amount of money into this specific pie. So the way I'll be moving forward is investing £100 directly into this pie, and then next month I'll probably do another £100 that will create a new pie based around my ETFs that I want to invest in and some of the companies that I've been looking into in more detail. And so that's it for me today. I hope Trading 212 will find a way to automate the deposit into pies without having to use a debit or credit card. And then if they do, this will then truly become a great solution for many people to get investing, as it will become almost like a secondary pension, but where you have a bit more control and you can choose where your money actually goes, and ultimately you don't need to wait until retirement age to take your money out. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you haven't got a Trading 212 account, make sure you use my referral link in the description or head over to www.ganesh.co.uk/trading212. Or if you already have an account, I'd love to know if you're using pies, and if you are, which ones are you using? So let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, head down to the red button and subscribe, and click on the bell so you get notified when my next video comes out. And as always, make sure you like the video, comment down below, and share with your friends and family. Peace and love to all of you. See you all on the next video. Bye.